happened over the last couple of days. Matt Painter did not peel the paint off the locker room. Maybe 10, 15 years ago with a sort of a rookie group, but not with this veteran group. And talking to the staff and the players that shoot around the practice earlier today, they know when they watch the film, they had open shots, turned the ball over, it got away from them. Iowa State played great. They're a top 5 team. They are not discouraged despite the home loss margin. They said, look, we're a really good team. When our best players play well, we'll be fine. So this was not a grueling week. They weren't running suicides. They weren't 3-hour practices. They're just fine. They may take it out on Minnesota, though, tonight. We'll see.
All right, let's check out our keys to the game, sponsored by Kay Jewelers. How do you see this one tonight?
Well, for Minnesota last Wednesday, they only went 8 deep. And they're going to have to, even though they're undermanned in the front court, you're going to have to handle the physicality that Purdue brings. For the Boilermakers, it's certainly guard Minnesota's 5-out offense. It's really impressive to watch what Niko Medved's been able to accomplish so early in this season. They are moving, they are cutting, they are hard to deal with on that end of the floor.
Minnesota team. There's no doubt about it. Niko Medved's squad got a big lift from their win over Indiana the other night at home, but it's a different task when you come on the road at Mackey Arena. They're 0-4 away from home this season.
Well, and they have been through a tough stretch out west. No, that Santa Clara game, you learned a lot about them, though. They get down 30 points, they cut that back to 11, and then you find a way to beat an Indiana team at home, and they're starting to play with a good amount of confidence here coming into league play.
Purdue will control the tip, and here we go. Braden Smith, 7 points and 13 assists away to become the second ever with 1,500 points, 850 assists, and 550 rebounds. That is certainly within his reach tonight. Here's Cox curling around for a deep 2 against the home roll.
C.J. Cox has been a little bit quiet over these last 2 games, only averaging just over 6 a game. He's certainly 1 of 5 from 3, so maybe that gets his jumper going from the perimeter with the mid-range.
This offense very efficient against Indiana in the win the other night. This is Jalen Crocker-Johnson, who's 3, rebounded by Smith.
I think Purdue is going to be content to let him pull that from 3 all he wants. 28% from 3 on the season. He can hurt you inside, but I think the Boilermakers are content if he wants to shoot perimeter shots.
Cox the aggressor early with both Purdue shots. The rebound to Langston Reynolds, and he'll push. Now we've got a whistle, a collision, and a foul. Braden Smith colliding with Jalen Crocker-Johnson. Oscar Clough with the foul. Niko Medved in his first season as Minnesota head coach, of course, former head coach at Colorado State, at Drake, at Furman, and a former student manager under Clem Haskins at Minnesota.
Well, just when you talk to Niko Medved, you can feel his enthusiasm for being in Minneapolis and how much this program has meant to him and how it shaped his basketball mindset and his basketball journey. A great hire by the university because he's a fantastic coach.
Crocker-Johnson, second 3, second miss. There's Tyson with a rebound.
That's something that Minnesota got with Indiana. They got on the glass, especially in that first half. They had 10 offensive rebounds, and that was a big difference in that game.
There's Crocker-Johnson inside. You like him better in there, just everything but the bucket.
That's where he can operate. Good help from Clough coming over to contest.
Smith around the Clough screen, looking for 3. Off the heel, and Tyson has it ripped away by Kaufman-Renn.
He has been a force on the offensive glass, and after the offensive rebound, then you get those step-in threes. Braden Smith torching the nets this year at over 41% from 3.
Not only second in the nation in assists per game, hitting some threes. There's a steal. Smith to the other end, motoring to the rim for 2, and a 7-0 start for the Boilermakers. Isaac Osama trying to figure out some offense. Here's Tyson.
How active has Braden Smith been? His active hands last year, the top 5 in steals in the Big Ten.
There's Tyson. And again, Crocker Johnson for 3, and this time he hits with the shot clock winding down.
Well, had to take it, obviously, with that shot clock at 1. And Purdue certainly willing to let him fire away from 3.
He's averaging career highs in points, rebounds, and blocks. He's had a good start to the season. Came in with Nico Medved from Colorado State and a foul on Cade Tyson, his first.
And just to get a guy that understands what Nico Medved wants. You know, he played in the NCAA tournament, was such a big part of that Colorado State team last year. And then to just get everyone on the same page, it's so important in these new coaching hires that you bring somebody with you that can kind of keep the culture and set the standard for what you're going to build.
Well, we've seen it all across college sports. If you've gotten a new job and you bring in guys that know your system, the rebuild or the build takes a lot less time. Travel on Kaufman-Renn and the turnover.
Iowa State did such a good job of making that pocket pass tough. And when you can get Trey Kaufman-Renn moving and you get him in that disadvantaged basketball where now he's looking to score, he's looking to make a play for somebody else. And that's where good luck stopping that.
On this end, how do you get 10 involved? Tyson's really not had any touch in the flow of the offense so far.
You have to think that, especially with Langston Reynolds out there on the floor, Purdue is really going to help off him. Now, they don't want him around the rim. Crocker Johnson, you could put him into that category as well. They're going to have to get him moving, and you got to get Cade Tyson involved.
And Crocker Johnson with the foul. Cox very patient down there, waiting for Crocker Johnson to jump for biscuits, and he ends up falling on top and send him to the line.
Well, C.J. Cox has kind of been aggressive in spurts this season. You know, he's had some moments. He had some great moments as a freshman. Had 18 against Memphis, 10 against Texas Tech, and 14 against Oakland, but only 3 of his 9 games he's been in double figures. He has been ultra aggressive to start this one.
Yeah, it looked like he came into this game with the notion that he was going to help pull Purdue out of, and I say slump, a 1-game loss at home feels like a slump for this Boilermaker team considering how good they've been.
That's where the standard's been set.
Yeah.
I was really interested coming to shoot around today to hear about how Coach Painter was. And as you know, Andy's veteran report, you know, there were some non-rookie teams that he peeled the paint off of. That might have been some shoddy reporting. But you know what? The games are so fast and furious. You can't lose the game twice, right? Like, it's move on. You got Minnesota. You focus on that.
Gophers a 1-for-6 start to this one. There's Cox again aggressive. The jumper won't go, and the rebound ripped down from Minnesota. And quickly up the floor comes Langston Reynolds. He'll go end to end, and it's poke free.
And 91% of his shots on the year are at the basket. He is looking to get there. Active hands again, man, but you start rocking that ball, you make it available, and Braden Smith has been so active defensively to start this game.
Here's Tyson, good position inside, count the bucket and the foul. And that's one way to get him involved in the offense. Post him deep inside, and a chance for one more at the line when we return to West Lafayette.
Are we ready for this party?
Guests are on their way, and food and drinks were just delivered.
Now, what about the music? It's got to be my new one, right? Play it.
I'm a bad man. I'm a masked man.
I'm not sure this is right for your niece's party. She's turning 5.
I'm a red flag.
Oh, I get you.
And Wayne,
Yeah?
should we cancel the dancers?
Let's reschedule the dancers.
What day would work for you?
Just not today. Alexa, you're good.
Bugs off.
Marathon is rewarding fans with savings of up to $1 per gallon. All by earning rewards on every gallon and on select in-store items. Making every pit stop and snack break worthy of a celebration.
Score.
The more you fuel up, the more you score with Marathon Rewards. Marathon, the official fuel of the Big Ten.
Purdue with a 9-5 lead. We just saw something that Minnesota really emphasized at shooter on the practice.
Well, they put a ton of time into this, and they had a lot of success against Indiana on under out of bounds situations. Purdue makes it tough because Daniel Jacobson's on the ball, but this is a planned play to get this switch. Cade Tyson sets a great screen on C.J. Cox. Minnesota knows that they're switching this. Look at where Daniel Jacobson is taken out to. That's one of the better shot blockers in the Big Ten Conference. They're taking him to the perimeter, and that means Cade Tyson has a great matchup on the inside. Minnesota goes right to it.
Cade Tyson, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, one of the best cutters in the Big Ten Conference. That was an excellent screen. It's a lot of the off-ball stuff that we've seen from Cade Tyson that's helped him elevate his game.
And the fact that he can get to the foul line early in this game, he's done it all season long. He's made 70 free throws. That's tops in the Big Ten. He's taken 86, which is good for second. He has lived at the line.
A guy who last year at North Carolina only averaged 2.6 points per game. Just could not really crack the rotation in any significant way.
Which is kind of crazy just because of you watch him play and the IQ that he plays with. It's kind of hard to believe that he wasn't able to get to the floor.
Well, he's got the build, he's got the game. Yeah. We've seen it early.
Well, and like family-wise, his brother plays for the Denver Nuggets. There's a lot to like about Cade Tyson.
Advantage for Purdue.
Grayson Grove, this is a tough spot for him. 6'9" freshman having to play against one of the bigger and more physical front courts in the country.
Fletcher Loyer able to pull it away. Daniel Jacobson changing that shot of Cade Tyson on the baseline.
Well, it's not a surprise to see that he's leading the Big Ten in block percentage. You know, certainly his minutes kind of hamper what his numbers will be from a blocks per game, but when he's on the floor, he is altering and blocking shots.
Here's Kaufman-Renn against Crocker Johnson, who's already got one personal foul, and Kaufman-Renn goes right at him.
I just don't think you can get your guys to understand how effective Trey Kaufman-Renn is at getting to his right hand until they get out there and see it in person. You can read it on the scouting report all you want, but he is so good at getting what he wants.
Reynolds trying to get inside. That ball poked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Gophers with 17 to shoot. Coming up, the Hoops doubleheader continues when Wisconsin clashes with undefeated Nebraska next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Good ball game coming up between those two schools.
How about the start Nebraska's gotten off to? But if they have ranked Mass last year, it's a very different story with Bryce Williams.
That Nebraska team building on their crown championship and carrying it right into this season. Here's Grayson Grove, the three, way off the mark for Grove. That's his first three-point attempt of the season. On the other end, quick three from Loyer won't go. There's Braden Smith again.
Fletcher Loyer got off to that torrid start shooting the ball, but he's now 3 of his last 13 from 3 through his first little slump of the season shooting it.
Here's Kaufman-Renn, backs out for 3, and the rebound to Reynolds.
He can make that. He's only taken 2 on the year. Knocked down one of them. But this is really, Kevin, where his bread is butter. You look at just how strong his legs are here. And it's not like Jalen Crocker Johnson is a weak defensive player. He can certainly bring physicality as well. But there's a reason that Kaufman-Renn averaging 10 points in the paint per game, which puts him at 6 in the Big Ten Conference.
Homer Meyer in for Fletcher Loyer. Meyer, the true freshman from Israel, the late arrival this summer. Minnesota down 5 despite that 2-for-9 start. Here's Asuma. Off the mark 3 and the rebound Kaufman-Renn.
They're going to have to make some of these perimeter shots. And that whoa, wow. If Daniel Jacobson was 10 feet tall, he might not have caught that pass.
But look at the look on Matt Painter's face.
Oh, my goodness. You don't see too many from Braden Smith like that.
Clearly. Look at Matt Painter's reaction. Here's the pass that airmailed Daniel Jacobson. And Matt Painter, you thought he saw a Yeti.
But for the Gophers, you know, they made some very timely second-half threes against Indiana. They're going to need to make them here in Mackey Arena.
Extra pass to Tyson for the open 3. Cannot connect. Offensive rebound attempt inside. Scrum on the floor. It's Asuma who comes up with.
Wow. Minnesota's playing hard. They did against Indiana, and give Nico Medved a lot of credit because that Santa Clara game, it was going sideways. You finish that one good. There's the cutting. Durkin with a great cut.
And
what
count
a
the
finish.
bucket. Wow. Durkin with the catch behind his head and somehow able to muscle it up and in.
Durkin, a very good cutter as well in his own right. Take a look at this. You get these guys overplaying. It's a back cut. And then with Jacobson, he's just taking that left hand. And even though he's getting to the right side of the basket, he's finishing across the grain. That is not an easy one. And you don't see Bobby Durkin take all that many twos. 88% of his shots come from three. Just tops in the league.
That's why he was brought in. He was Davidson's top three-point shooter a year ago, brought into Minnesota to provide that spark outside, but a three the old-fashioned way, and it's a two-point game.
He made 150 threes in his first 2 years of college hoops.
Here's Braden Smith trying to answer, and he does.
I love the action. You know, because a cross screen for Trey Kaufman-Renn is going to attract so much attention. It's screen for the screener. Now you get one for Braden Smith, and he finishes it off with the three.
Smith 8 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal already. Kai Shinholster from Minnesota bench. Under 10 to shoot. It's Grove finding Osama. 2 seconds. He steps back for a three. Good defense by Purdue. Never got a good look. Meyer around the Jacobson screen. Step back from the elbow from Meyer, and Jacobson there with a rebound. Foul on the floor. That basket will not count. But the foul on the floor against the Gophers, and a timeout on the floor at Mackey Arena with Purdue up 5.
Lynn?
Why are you screaming?
Because you're screaming. Are you hiding from used car shopping?
Yeah. What if I overpay?
I get it. Nearly half of all used cars have been in an accident. But that's nothing to be afraid of.
Show me, Carfax.
Knowing how a car's accident history impacts price means you don't have to overpay.
Way better. Popcorn?
Definitely. No fear, just Fox. Say show me at Carfax.com.
Old Trapper Beefs. Pack smash.
My peanut butter and jelly.
Ew.
Oh no.
Yeah, I guess my ham and cheese didn't make it.
Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Now that's a great view.
Yep.
I'm the guy sitting next to your girl on the kiss cam.
This game just got a lot more interesting.
Sheila? Mom?
Fire!
And if you don't have the right home coverage, you might have to kiss your savings goodbye. Let's go, beat it. Switch to Allstate and you could save hundreds. What are you waiting for? Make your move before I do.
Thank you for calling the Bombas Comfort Line. Bombas is socks, slippers, tees, and underwear. Press 1 to run in Bombas, 2 to sleep in Bombas, 3 to pet a llama in Bombas. And with every purchase, 1 is donated. Bombas. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
Saturday, it's a huge slate of hoops. What a block! Including the 9th-ranked Spartans against the Nittany Lions.
An assault on the rim.
The action begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the Big Ten Network.
Hey, boiler up on 3. 1, 2, 3, boiler up.
Boiler up.
Good boy. Boiler up.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, boiler up.
Hammer down.
Right now, the first 250 fans will get $20 off a Big Ten Plus annual pass to stream hundreds more events across the Big Ten this season. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to BigTenPlus.com and make sure you enter MBB20 when selecting an annual pass at checkout to take advantage of this offer. Robbie Hummel, a 14-9 lead for Purdue. Nico Medved saw a foul on Grayson Grove before the media timeout. He's conferring with Randy Richardson about that. Trying to buy a call later in the game.
Whatever you can do, right?
Absolutely.
I just think it's awesome, both these guys at their alma maters. You see both those coaches, and what an opportunity. Certainly Matt Painter, it's no longer an opportunity. He's been here for a long time, but not many guys get to say they get to do it at their alma mater. It's pretty cool.
Jalen Crocker-Johnson, second foul. There's Matt Painter, 1989 to 93. You can tell they're older pictures because they're grainy from the late 80s, early 90s. Same with Nico Medved. Look at that dashing young man. 1993 to 96, the student manager with the Gophers, and now back coaching his alma mater. It's cool to see, and for these guys, it means so much for them to coach where they're coaching. And Matt Painter, of course, we know he and Nico having words right now while they look at something on the monitor here. We didn't hear what Paul Sells said on that thing. Apparently they're reviewing who the foul was on. So they're checking to make sure that they got the right foul, because it was Crocker-Johnson who was initially whistled for it. That would be his second.
And he lives in foul trouble, so that's been every game for them almost. You have to think that's going to be probably awesome, right?
You would
gets
think
him across the back of the head.
You saw Crocker-Johnson get him on the arm. It just depends on where they got it.
When they call it.
And I think they're calling it on Crocker-Johnson,
Yeah,
so
wow.
it is his second. I think he had a choice there.
Yeah, right. You're right. Paul Sells just kind of mouthed that he got him on the arm. We're trying to get it moved to Osama.
That's a big second foul, though. You're talking about the 6th leading rebounder in the conference.
Well, in 5 of his 9 games, he's had 4 fouls or more. That's a lot of foul trouble to be dealing with.
Venter can't connect on the free throws, though, and it remains a 14-9 game. Osama zips it into Grove through the contact. Count the bucket and a foul on Venter.
Well, Benter's late to where he needs to be. You know, he's in help defensive position, but he's getting there late. Grayson Grove sets the ball screen, then he's rolling. If you're Benter, you got to be moving alongside that ball. He's thinking he's cheating back to his man. You got to hang out there until that big gets back.
When I talked to Matt Painter earlier this afternoon, and then again before the game, and I said, what impressed you most about Minnesota and the way Nico Medved coaches his team? He said one word: cutting. And Robbie's talked about it a lot. The way this team cuts, it stands out on that scout for opposing teams. We've seen it be effective last week against Indiana, and we're already seeing it here in West Lafayette.
You know, Andy, it was interesting. We were both with Colorado State. Whoa, pass. Oh, goodness.
Oscar Clough finishing it off. We saw Braden Smith do that at Rutgers, a similar pass, and Clough flushes this one.
To finish my thought here, we were in Seattle with Colorado State last year at the NCAA tournament, and we talked to Nico Medved about some of his offensive influences and whether it's the spread offense or some John Beilein 5-out stuff. He's got a lot of really interesting guys that have mentored him and kind of shaped the way he thinks about offense.
It'll belong to Purdue on the turnover for Minnesota. Back to the pass.
He's thrown this pass a lot this year. You know, you get a little bit of space in there, and that screen, Clough's such a good screener. He picks up off Osama. You've got that wide kind of pathway for him to throw this there. But Clough is an excellent screener, and Grayson Grove, you're trying to stop the ball with the best point guard in the country. You're trying to get back. That's a tough spot for a freshman to be in.
How confident do you have to be to continually make passes like that in conference games?
Well, he's got the ultimate green light to do pretty much whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, he's proven himself over time.
He's earned that.
Turnover back to Minnesota. Good defense by the Gophers on the other end. Third turnover for Purdue. Braden Smith will get his first breather with Fletcher Lawyer back on the floor. That'll mean Omer Meyer takes over at the point guard spot for the moment. For Minnesota, though, 4 for 14 and 1 for 8 from 3. Got to figure out a way to find some of that range from the outside. They'll try here, the 3 up and off. Now 1 for 9 as Durkin misses.
They got a great look. Kate Tyson set a heck of a flare screen. You want Bobby Durkin taking those types of shots.
Meyer contested fadeaway 2. Clough is there. The follow-up and a foul on the floor.
Omer Meyer kind of looking for his jumper here. He's 2 of his last 14 from the field. He's been much more effective on the season off the bounce compared to catch and shoot. He's had some good looks from the mid-range here, Kevin, and he hasn't been able to knock them down.
No, that was an excellent look. Second foul on Grove, so a little foul trouble for a thin Minnesota team.
You have to think these Purdue guards like playing with Oscar Clough, because he is going to set some screens that are bone-crushing on your defenders.
Halfway through this first half. There's Clough working inside against Grove, who's already got 2 fouls, and Clough going to work against him, finds 2.
It's not a fair weight class fight there. Grayson Grove weighs 220 pounds, Clough at 255. And you're hesitant to double because of the way Purdue shoots the basketball, but I think you've got to give the freshman at least a little bit of help. Bring some guys digging. It can't just be one-on-one.
8 points in the paint, and you're going to see more in this current lineup.
They should go there every time if they're Purdue.
Asima settled for that shot. The air ball caught by Meyer.
Well, good defense on the ball, but also Meyer off it. He took away that Reynolds back cut. Good defense there for the Boilermakers.
There's Lawyer. That's a travel. Little indecision. He wanted to shoot the 3, and then it wasn't there.
This is just the featherweight going up against the heavyweight. Grayson Grove, some time in the weight room, that will do him good. But it's like you give a little bit of a dig. It's got to be more there from Reynolds. That's tough if you're guarding a guy like Fletcher Lawyer out there. You don't want to give up a 3. And that's not a fair fight down there inside.
Hard to believe the state of Indiana would sanction a featherweight versus a heavyweight matchup.
We don't care. Our boxing commission is very lax.
Yeah, apparently. 10 to shoot. Durkin on the drive, the drop, and the kick out onto the right wing for an open 3, and it won't go.
Well, Grove's got to put that up, though. I think he's got an opportunity to score that ball.
And Lawyer fouled by Reynolds on the way up. And it'll be 3 free throws coming from Fletcher Lawyer. One thing Purdue has not been doing much this year is getting to the line. Dead last in the Big Ten in free throws made and free throw attempts per game.
When you think about 2 years ago, that was kind of their great equalizer. And Edey was as well. But the way they got teams in foul trouble and the way they could withstand some tough shooting nights because they'd live at the foul line. And that has not been the case. 18th in makes, 18th in attempts. Right. That's pretty wild.
6 of 14 against Iowa State on Saturday. Already now 5 of 7 at the line tonight. Gophers a 3-minute drought, 4 for 17 from the floor and 1 of 10 from 3. Now by double figures for the first time tonight. Kate Tyson cut. A really good find to get into Reynolds.
But Purdue just not on the same page there with that post double. They're going to double team in the post. Kate Tyson, a great cut and then a leg whip to get that post up. Your weak side has got to be understanding that as that double comes, you're flooding that side and taking away cutters. There's nobody home for Purdue.
Nice feed. Speaking of passing, Kaufman-Renn.
Same story. Yep. There's just nobody there. Look at Braden Smith.
And rips it away in a foul. That's Asima, who's called for the foul. And Braden Smith getting a standing ovation from the Purdue faithful. The effort has been exemplary for Braden Smith tonight, and the Boilers up by 10 as a result.
Whoa, bummer. Well, at least you get to see your insurance agent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Sure, my car got struck by lightning, but my Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, Mike, is gonna help me figure it out. So awesome. Oh, here he is. Big Mike!
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent helps guide you through the process so you don't have to go it alone.
Some people collect sneakers. I collect greatness. The polos, they flatter. The hoodies, these joggers, so comfy, you might cancel your plans. Go to rollback.com to check out the best hoodies, polos, and more.
Victory insoles, which started as a viral sensation, is now the #1 gift every athlete wants under the tree.
They definitely make a difference.
Is this gonna be a good gift?
No brainer, right?
Don't wait. The best deals of the year are live now at Victory.com. Give the gift of better performance.
Braden Smith has been aggressive on the defensive end of the floor, but also looking for his own offense, shooting through this passing lane, defense turning into offense. Active hands with these Minnesota guards, but he's also looked to get his jump shot going. 3 of 5 from the field, only has a single assist. It was this beautiful one to Clough there in the pick and roll. First team All-American has been so active through the first 12 minutes of this game.
Keeping an eye on this, Robbie, if he gets 53 more assists tonight, he will become Big Ten's all-time assist leader.
Well, that's rare air. I mean, Cassius Winston, Mateen Cleaves, 2 of the best point guards to ever do it in this league. The fact that he's
sandwiching those two guys.
No question. But also from the national assist record, the fact that that's in play with Bobby Hurley, that's incredible.
I was here all afternoon, didn't leave the building, and Braden Smith was on the floor. He was the first player after their shoot around, by about an hour and a half after. He was out here. That's leadership. When your best player, and this was you, Robbie, when you were a player, when your best player is your hardest worker, that sends the message to the rest of the group.
What a pass that was from Braden Smith. Andy, we have an award over here for you for being the first one that stayed, the only one that stayed in the building, I believe.
Now, I will say, are we counting the time spent at both of the shoot-arounds? Because only 2 of us were at both today. As Purdue takes it away again.
Boy, Braden Smith's effort defensively, he has been all over the place in this game.
Smith the flip around, and it gets to Lawyer. Kaufman-Renn staying with that one against Tyson. Minnesota just ice cold. Where will the offense come from against this stifling Boilermaker defense?
Reynolds is certainly a guy that can do this, and I like the fact you get the matchup with Jacobson, you take him to the basket. You got a physical big guard at 6'4", 215 with Langston Reynolds. Yeah, Daniel Jacobson is a good shot blocker, but you go right to him, you pivot through, that's a good take. Here's Purdue in the open floor. Braden Smith dropping a dime there to Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Reynolds cannot convert on the 4th and 1 of the first half for Minnesota. Honestly, if you told Niko Medved they were 1 for 10 from 3 and 5 of 18 from the floor, and they were down just 10 at Purdue, he'd probably feel pretty good about that. And lob to Jacobson, and he can't handle the pass.
They're not exactly a team that shoots a ton of threes.
No.
They only attempt 21 a game.
There's Crocker Johnson inside. Braden Smith.
It's everywhere.
Gotta feel like there's more than one number 3 on the floor. Smith to the end of the floor, and he's fouled by Asama.
Makes the play on defense, and then it's 1-on-4 against 4 Gopher defenders, and he does not care. He is not stopping for anybody. He is just flying in on this play. Takes the ball from one of the stronger players on Minnesota's roster, and then he is off to the races. Trey Kaufman-Renn gives it up. Braden Smith, he's having a heck of a first half.
8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and now 4 steals for Braden Smith. I mean, you can't really play much better than he's played on both ends tonight. On 25-15 lead for the Boilermakers. Let's check out the advanced stats sponsored by Lowe's. And we've talked about their defense tonight and what they've done against Minnesota. And you see the improvement year to year on the interior defense.
Well, and that's partly going out and getting Oscar Clough, not playing Trey Kaufman-Renn at the 5 as much, and Daniel Jacobson coming back from injury. And the rebounding number is much better. The 2-point defense, way better. That was such an issue for Purdue last year. They kind of lived in rotation because they were having to over-rotate to stop the ball and almost schematically rotate to stop the dribble.
Yeah, health And the shifting in personnels and the addition of Oscar Clough, all that makes a huge difference in that interior defense, which has improved year to year. This Boilermaker team looking to start 2-0 in Big Ten play for the first time, hard to believe, first time since 2022-2023 that they would start 2-0 if they get a win here tonight.
Just because of how much they've won.
Right, but that's just it. I mean, it's a team that has had dramatic success in that stretch as a Final Four national championship game appearance, but they haven't started 2-0 in that time.
Yeah, believe it or not, I think Robbie had a couple of those upsets early in December. It's only happened 6 times in Matt Painter's career that they've started 2-0. But think about this, the December Big Ten games started in 2017, and during that time, only 2 times, 17 and 2022, did they go 2-0 in December. Now, they still won the league in 19, 23, and 24. Still, it is rare for Purdue to go 2-0 in December.
And the rebound ripped down by Osama. Good play to get his own back, and the 3 from Crocker Johnson will fall in the scramble. Minnesota gets the 3.
Well, what an effort by Minnesota to get that ball back. There was nothing going on offensively. Purdue locking down on the defensive end, but you make an effort play on the glass, and now with Purdue a little bit out of sorts off the offensive rebound, you get a wide open one.
Braden Smith on the drive. His dish deflected to Lawyer. And Lawyer feeling the contact from Reynolds. Throws it at the rim as he's fouled. He'll go to the line for a pair. I do want to point out that in the midst of Andy's last report, he did subtly, and maybe not even so subtly, blame you for Purdue starting at less than 2-0 over the years in Big Ten play.
You know, I have called games that Purdue has won as well.
Yes, you have.
I don't know if the fans understand that. I don't know if Andy understands that, but that has actually happened.
I believe you and I were on the call on the radio side when they made it to a Final Four.
I think we were, yes.
Yes, and I was with you guys as well for the championship title game run. No, I think it's somewhat coincidence that Robbie has called these upsets in December, notably the Rutgers game, if I'm not mistaken. But it is kind of crazy.
You want to bring them all up?
It is crazy. You would assume they always start 2-0 because of their success in the Big Ten. That just hasn't been the case.
If you want to beat Purdue, make sure Robbie's in the building.
Good
Inside
cut.
and the cut to Durkin for 2.
Get a drive on the baseline, and we talked a lot about Cade Tyson as a cutter, but Bobby Durkin a very good cutter as well. Both those guys just know how to play.
Even points in the paint between Purdue and Minnesota. 12 of the 20 that Minnesota scored have been inside. And you mentioned it, it's not a big 3-point shooting team, so that's not necessarily a surprising statistic. Here's Smith, 6 to shoot, dropping it off for Kaufman-Renn. Good touch from the free throw line.
Pocket pass is so impressive. I mean, he is burning it to his right side and just throwing it right back across his body. We talked about it earlier in the game. When you can get Trey Kaufman-Renn in the short roll, good things are going to happen for Purdue's offense.
What impresses me, Rob, is the amount of control he has on that pass. As Crocker Johnson hits again from 3, he's got all 3 of them.
Yeah, they've been playing offense. And even though his percentage isn't good on the season at 28%, he's made a couple of them. He was a 35% three-point shooter last year at Colorado State. Purdue kind of daring him to beat him. And early on here, he has made him pay a couple times.
C.J. Cox was aggressive early, drops it off underneath to Jacobson, and Jacobson just bigger than everybody in Crocker Johnson with 2 fouls to boot.
But not an easy catch there for Jacobson. And that bounce pass, those big guys want that thing thrown up. C.J. Cox, even though it was kind of a high bounce pass, that was not easy for the 7'4" Jacobson.
There's Tyson. Held him in check tonight. Crocker Johnson, another 3. This time off, and Kaufman-Renn there to clean it up.
You can see that Jacobson doesn't necessarily love guarding on the perimeter because he wants to block shots.
Lawyer trying to save it. It ends up with Minnesota. Gophers Crocker Johnson 3 of 6 from 3. The rest of the team's 0 for 8.
I think Braden Smith kind of got in between shooting that and passing it. Jacobson had looked away, so he was going to pass to him and then saw he wasn't going to catch it or even see it, so he kind of shot it. Ended up being an air ball.
Osama with the 3, and the first non-Crocker Johnson shot that goes in from 3 for Minnesota.
All of a sudden, Minnesota starting to catch a little bit of fire here from the 3-point line. He said they're going to need to make some timely ones. Same thing as what they did against Indiana. And here to end the first half, they've now knocked down 4 of them.
Smith trying to take over this game. Can't connect on that one. And Kate Tyson corrals the rebound. Some little hesitation. Drop off to Tyson. What is it you said? He's quite the cutter. Receiving end after that cut to bring Minnesota within 5 at 33-28. They've made 5 of their last 6 shots, and the Gophers crawling back into this one.
Well, only playing 7 guys. What a response here from Minnesota. I think Kate Tyson as good as anybody in this league off the ball. Minnesota cuts this thing down to 5 before the half.
I'm Miles Penn, founder of M. Tailor. Finding clothes that fit is a hassle. Standard clothing uses just 2 measurements. M. Tailor's custom clothing uses 7 or more measurements for the perfect fit. Our tech measures you 20% better than a tailor using just your phone. Whether you are so big or so small, we fit you all. M. Tailor offers free returns and free shipping. Made-to-measure jeans start at just $79, dress shirts at $69, suits $399. Download the M. Tailor app or visit mtailor.com today.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diane.
Hi, I just received my new Discover card. It says cash back on every purchase. What's cash back?
It's new. Buy what you need, earn a little extra back.
Even on walkie-talkies, rope, and a baseball bat?
You betcha.
10 to 15 pumpkins? That works.
Absolutely.
How about flowers?
What he meant to say was flamethrower.
A what?
Woo, Big Willie. Woo.
Reaching your financial goals can feel impossible. Credit Karma gives you personalized guidance to improve your credit, savings, taxes, and more, so you can find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Introducing Stogo, the only apparel with adjustable medical-grade support, engineered with high-strength cables that reinforce the body, designed to help you overcome injuries, minimize pain, and regain the confidence to get back out there. Learn more at Stoco.com.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Welcome to the neighborhood, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Because when you feel protected, you can dream fearlessly.
Go long.
Bundle and save up to 40%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Sunday, a hoops doubleheader tips off with the Gophers against Texas Southern. Then Iowa takes on Western Michigan. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Gophers with a good response. 5 of their last 6 from the floor, 33-28. Nico Medved's team was once down in this one by 12, down to 5 with 2:03 to go.
Well, they've run great offense. 10 assists on 11 made field goals, and outside of a couple individual possessions, they haven't been overwhelmed by Purdue's physicality. Only a 16-14 points in the paint advantage for the Boilermakers. Now Minnesota throwing a little changeup of their own here, going zone.
Ball pops free. Craig Hoffman-Wren doing some work to try to keep that alive, but it came through Durkin, and he picks up the personal foul, his first.
It felt like Purdue had an opportunity to kind of put Minnesota in a place where, all right, at halftime you've got a decision to make, and kind of put it away. But give the Gophers a lot of credit here. They've hung in there, and they've played really hard in this one. Braden Smith has as well, though. He has been out here competing.
On the push after the Osama Mims. Gets the screen from Clough. That too rebounded by Durkin.
You don't see him miss too many shots like that from 15 feet. He comes off that ball screen, and there's drop coverage, and he walks into one like that. You can almost book it all the time.
Here's Reynolds. Drive it inside, as he is wont to do, and he gets 2 more. It's a 3-point game.
And Langston Reynolds does not care if he's got a 7'4" guy, 7 foot. That does not matter.
A little uneasy feeling at Mackey Arena right now. 7-0 Minnesota run with a minute to go in this first half.
Purdue loves to attack zones with that ball screen. Braden Smith gets the overload, and I just think Jakari Harris, you can get that whenever.
Oh, and it ends up in the hands of Clough down low on the ricochet. Look what I found. 2 more on the board.
I think with Jalen Crocker-Johnson in foul trouble and just Minnesota's lack of height, that Purdue would be wise to go into Oscar Clough. Go to that paint and make him pay for it.
There's Tyson. Around the Crocker Johnson screen. 10 to shoot for Minnesota. Crocker Johnson deep 2, and it rolls home.
He's burned Purdue with the jumper.
Coming up, stick around. The halftime show's coming up, presented by State Farm. Dave Revson, Rayfield Davis, Seth Davis, basketball and Michigan football reaction. The latest on that coming up as the firing of Sharon Moore occurred earlier today. Ren spinning inside, shot put, won't go. We have reached halftime at Mackey Arena, and it's a 3-point game. 6th-ranked Purdue was up 12, but Minnesota storming back, making 7 of their last 9 shots, and just a 3-point lead for the home team at the half.
And Kevin, they've battled Purdue. They've fought a much bigger team, a team that's considered one of the more physical in the country, and Minnesota has hung in there in this first half.
Let's go to Andy Katz.
Matt, we talked in the pregame about how hard it is to defend their offense and their cutting. What must you do a better job in the second half?
Yeah, you know, things got away from us a little bit there. Crocker Johnson got loose and made a couple threes, and there we don't have our hand up when he does a Sigma. And we just got to play better. We got to be in a stance. We got to play better. I thought we did some good things against their cut. We gave up a couple layups. They had a 45 cut there at the end that they got a basket from. So we got to do a better job of pressuring the basketball, but also being in a stance and being aware away from the basketball.
Offensively, how has Braden Smith exhibited his leadership?
He's done a good job. You know, he misses a shot there, but it's a good shot. You know, he's done the 4 steals. He's been very active from a defensive standpoint. He just needs to keep being aggressive. He's lost the ball a couple times going to pass, and we just got to take care of it.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you.
So work to do for both teams at halftime, but the Gophers able to bounce back in this one. Coming up, our State Farm halftime report. Dave and the gang in Chicago ready to get it going after the break on the Big Ten Network.
Marathon is rewarding fans with savings of up to $1 per gallon. All by earning rewards on every gallon and on select in-store items. Making every pit stop and snack break worthy of a celebration.
Score.
The more you fuel up, the more you score with Marathon Rewards. Marathon, the official fuel of the Big Ten.
So 20 years until retirement. At this rate, it's probably going to be more like 40. Okay, no, way too long. Let's see how much you're spending. Download an app called Rocket Money. Oh, wow. I've got 3 DoorDash accounts. I totally forgot to cancel those. You know you can cancel those right in the app? Rocket Money has a clear dashboard that shows you all your income and expenses, helping you stay in control of your goals. It also shows you a list of all your subscriptions and how much you're paying, all in one place. Is this the best budgeting app? Yes, and it's called Rocket Money.
Travel can be a nightmare. Luckily, you rented your car on Turo. Skip the rental counter with Turo. Rent just about any car, just about anywhere.
You eat clean, work out, and track your health, but you're setting yourself up for failure in your office. A bad chair might be undoing all that you do. Time to upgrade to an Anthros chair. Research shows the real foundation of a healthier sit is pelvis support. That's why our patented precision posture system supports the upper and lower spine independently. The Anthros chair is built around the true science of sitting. Fixing how you sit is the easiest healthy habit you can build. Try the Anthros chair, risk-free for 60 days.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Welcome to the neighborhood, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Because when you feel protected, you can dream fearlessly.
Go long.
Bundle and save up to 40%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Oh no, your girlfriend's dad doesn't like his gift. Maybe there's time to get a deal on something else. Wait. Hey, you might just make it to New Year's after all.
It is halftime in West Lafayette. Braden Smith
10 points in the first half for the Boilers. They are on top of Minnesota at the break, 35-32. As we welcome you in the State Farm halftime, Dave Revson alongside the Davises, Rafael and Seth. And guys, it looked like Purdue, you think about bad timing from Minnesota's point of view. You get Purdue in kind of an angry mood, and they go up by a dozen, felt like they might pull away, but Seth, has not been the case. Minnesota really playing well.
Well, Minnesota's got its own confidence now coming off the big win over Indiana. So they have this game at the pace that they want it to be. They don't want it to get up into the 80s. And the thing that Minnesota does well, Matt Painter talking to Andy Katz before the game about their cuts. Minnesota is an elite passing team. And let's remember, this is the team that just lost their starting point guard for the season. Isaac Asuma has 5 assists here in the first half. They're 6th in the country in assists per field goals. And here in the first half, 10 assists on 13 field goals. Purdue defense getting a little bit squiggly.
Yeah, when you talk about the defense, you got to pressure the basketball a little bit. You give a guy time and space to make those passes, they're going to pick you apart. Think about a quarterback with no rush. They're going to get whatever pass they want, and that's what Minnesota has right now. But it's on the defensive end for Purdue. You got to be in the stance. You got to pressure the ball. And then for Minnesota, Langston Reynolds, he is showing us right now he is one of the best defenders in this conference. You talk about shutting a guy out. Fletcher Lawyer can't even get a shot off. Only one attempt in that first half. But I believe Braden Smith, he came out, he set that tone. This is how you started the game as a big-time senior when you're trying to have a bounce-back win.
Pretty impressive, to your point. All the injury issues for Minnesota, every reason in the world to get blown out in this game, frankly, and it just hasn't happened at all. Quite the contrary. They are very much in this game, down by just 3 points at the break. We are going to turn our attention to football. Really some shocking news earlier today. Jake Butt here to discuss the dismissal of Sherrone Moore next.
Are you sick of tire dressings that start out greasy, then quickly fade and brown over time?
Introducing Cerakote's Rapid Ceramic Tire Coat. Cerakote's true ceramic technology has just the right amount of shine and lasts up to 10 times longer than traditional dressings. Just wipe it on to get professional showroom shine without the greasy mess that slings on your vehicle. You can trust Cerakote's #1 selling family of products with over 60,000 5-star reviews.
This is the best tire coat and protectant you'll ever use, guaranteed.
Buy today for under $20.
Introducing Stogo, the only apparel with adjustable medical-grade support engineered with high-strength cables that reinforce the body, designed to help you overcome injuries, minimize pain, and regain the confidence to get back out there. Learn more at Stoco.com.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Welcome to the neighborhood, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Because when you feel protected, you can dream fearlessly.
Go long.
Bundle and save up to 40%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
This shirt is a must-have in your closet. I was tired of floppy collars, so I got this shirt I saw on TV. The brand is called Collars & Co. They make a regular stretchy golf shirt, but the top has a firm collar on it. No dry cleaning needed, and the collar stays stiff all day.
Holiday savings event. Save up to 25% on select styles at collarsandco.com.
Pay for whatever the day brings with up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. Download Dave.
Stunning development in Ann Arbor today, where Michigan announced the dismissal of head football coach Sherrone Moore with cause. In a statement released late this afternoon, the school cited what it called an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Moore went 17-8 over the last 2 seasons as Michigan's head coach, succeeding Jim Harbaugh, who left after winning the national title 2 years ago. Biff Poggi has been named the interim coach heading into the Citrus Bowl matchup with Texas. Jake Butt is here. Jake, there's tons to discuss here, but in the immediate term, what are the challenges ahead here for Michigan?
Well, I mean, this is just a challenging time, and it's an uncertain time, and it's in that specific time that you need strong leadership. And the benefit for Michigan is they have a guy in the name of Biff Poggi who is the perfect guy to talk to the locker room, to be able to face the team and answer challenging questions, to answer the staff too. I mean, the assistants, this is a tough time for them as well. Biff, when you talk to the players, the first thing that they say is they love Biff Poggi as a human being, and he loves them back. That's important in this time. And then it becomes for Ward, there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights going forward. They have to act quickly to start figuring out who's going to be the next head coach at Michigan going forward.
Just given the calendar of college football, the portal opening, the timing, all of those different things makes it a really challenging time to be looking for a head coach. We'll get lots more from Jake coming up later on The Big Show. We are at the half in West Lafayette. The Big Ten's second leading scorer, Kate Tyson, 5 points in the first half. His team down 3 to the Boilers at the break.
This or that.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. I think you Venmo this, y'all. Swears that. Yo, liftily. Yo, we can make it hip to me. What we are, cause what we be the epitome, do, da, dippity. You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. I think you Venmo this, y'all.
Get your Venmo debit card today with free Perplexity Pro.
Mott & Bow is the #1 premium denim company in comfort and style. Their jeans have dynamic stretch technology to provide absolute flexibility. They are probably the most comfortable jeans you'll ever wear. Head on over to mottandbow.com for the perfect balance of fit, style, and comfort.
Some people collect sneakers. I collect greatness. The polos, they flatter. The hoodies, these joggers, so comfy, you might cancel your plans. Go to rollback.com to check out the best hoodies, polos, and more.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
This is Bombas. They took socks and asked what if they could be way more comfortable? What if comfort could be for everyone? At Bombas, one purchased equals one donated. Get 20% off your first order at bombas.com.
Halftime on the Big Ten Network is presented by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Doubleheader tonight on the Big Ten Network. Nebraska ranked for the first time since 2018, trying to stay unbeaten. They will host Wisconsin. It's coming up as soon as we are done in West Lafayette. Got a tight one in Mackey. Braden Smith, one of his 3 assists. Oscar Clough and company up 3 at the break. Kevin, Robbie, Andy with the second half next.
I checked Allstate first, saved hundreds on my car insurance.
Please welcome Charles Woodson.
Unfortunately, I didn't check to see if anyone was watching before I stole cotton candy from a child. Checking Allstate first was really smart. Not checking the Jumbotron, not smart. Well, at least I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds. Was it worth it? Yeah.
This is the story of the one who knows that being ready for the unexpected comes from having a partner like Grainger, whose professional-grade products and next-day delivery help ensure that he and his team are prepared to rise to every challenge, so he can be confident that he has what he needs when he needs it to help keep patients safe and happy. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's an easier way to pay for the everyday and unexpected. Up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. Download Dave today.
Oh, what if the temperature is expensive?
Paul? Hey, Carfox. Are you hiding from used car shopping?
No. Yes.
Okay. Just because nearly half of all used cars have been in an accident doesn't mean you have to overpay.
Really?
Take my word for it. It doesn't have to be scary.
Okay. Show me, Carfox.
Knowing how a car's accident history impacts price means you don't have to overpay.
Cool. Wait, how did you get in here exactly?
No fear. Just Fox. Say show me at Carfax.com.
Seriously, how'd you get in here?
It's a good thing Discover makes it easy to be a Big Ten fan.
Totally. I get cash back on my rally cap.
Cash back on my favorite glove.
Cash back on my lucky shamrock.
I even earned cash back on my lucky bobblehead.
You win. Next round's on me.
Earn cash back on every purchase with Discover.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better protection from online threats. Get NordVPN now.
35 32 Purdue as we get set to start the second half. The crowd and Sandstorm roaring at Mackey. The sold-out crowd trying to do everything they can to jumpstart Purdue. Minnesota ending the half, Robbie Hummel, on a 9-2 run, and Minnesota with the ball to start things off.
Just really impressed by the response of the Gophers. I mean, certainly Purdue having an opportunity to throw a haymaker there and maybe even a knockout punch, and Minnesota didn't go away, made a couple timely threes, and I've just been a little surprised that Purdue hasn't looked to maybe utilize their size and their advantage on the inside a little bit more.
Especially with the foul trouble we saw from Minnesota in that first half. It's not a deep team anyway, but it didn't feel like Purdue took full advantage of it.
No, only an 18-16 advantage on points in the paint. I would be shocked if Purdue does not go inside every time to start this second half.
Here's Durkin with the three. Pinballs out into the hands of Cox. Keeps it a three-point game.
Who's fortunate there. Durkin flying off that screen. I thought Clough could have maybe jumped off and at least showed a little bit. He got a great look.
Kaufman-Renn now against Cade Tyson. He's banging his way inside to the rim for two.
That's by design. And I don't know why Purdue would go away from that at all until Minnesota brings a post-double.
8 points, 5 rebounds now for Trey Kaufman-Renn. Reynolds on the spin inside. Good defense by Kaufman-Renn.
Just walling up, not giving up an angle and making a smaller player score over the top of you.
Lawyer, good look in transition. His shot is just a little bit off right now. We've talked about it as we check in with Andy Katz.
Well, exactly what Robbie said is what Nico told me when he was really impressed with the way his team withstood that first punch, where they just got sort of knocked to the floor and came right back up. They were really impressed, or Nico was really impressed, in the ability for Minnesota to stay with it, get good shots. He's very pleased with the shot selection thus far, and really the way they've been defending it. There is some concern, of course, with 2 fouls with Asuma, Crocker Johnson, and Reynolds. They're just going to have to manage that throughout the course of the second half.
All right, Andy, thanks so much. What have we seen from Purdue to start the second half? Back-to-back feeds to their big man. 2 easy buckets a result. Clough now into doubles with 10. 7 to shoot. Tyson against Cox, and a foul. Reaching in, CJ Cox picks up the personal, his second.
He gets a little handsy there with the reach, especially when you know that Clough is coming to double on the backside there. He's coming on the baseline side. Shot clock winding down, and kind of bail out Minnesota on that possession.
See if the Gophers can cash in here. Down by 7 after back-to-back big men. Put it in on the other end for Purdue. 4 to shoot. Durkin against Cox. And Kaufman-Renn the rebound.
You want Bobby Durkin putting it on the floor. He is out there to shoot threes. Can really cut off the ball, but when he's off the bounce, that's exactly what Purdue wants.
Smith for 3. Go inside, open up the outside, and open up a 10-point lead. Tyson, elbow jumper. And the rebound, Clough. 0 for 4 from the floor to start the second half for the Gophers. That 3 will drop. Minnesota withstood 1 punch. Purdue had another one, and a 10-0 run forces the timeout.
Well, the first 2 possessions, it's about going inside. And then you got Braden Smith. He's coming off that screen. He is letting that thing go. An off the dribble handoff. Crocker Johnson's back. There's no one there to switch. CJ Cox is cashing out.
This or that.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. I think you Venmo this, y'all. Swears that. Yo, niftily. Yo, we can make it hip to me. What we are, cuz what we be the epitome, do, da, dippity. You can Venmo this or you can Venmo that. I think you Venmo this, y'all.
Get your Venmo debit card today with free Perplexity Pro.
Finding a pair of jeans that looks good and feels comfortable is such a hassle. Most clothes use just 1 or 2 measurements. M-Tailor uses 7 or more measurements for the perfect fit. Our tech measures you 20% better than a tailor. We created the InvisiStretch waistband to preserve the classic jeans look while invisibly stretching for comfort. Get custom jeans for just $79 with free shipping and free returns. Download the M-Tailor app or visit mtailor.com.
If you feel held back by the weight of financial decisions, we can give you the tools to help you break free. Credit Karma gives you personalized guidance to improve your credit, savings, taxes, and more, so you can find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Thank you for calling the Bombas Comfort line. Bombas makes slippers, slides, and comfy shoes. And with every purchase, 1 is donated. Press 1 for comfort, 2 for cozy, 3 for great gifts. Bombas. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
Out here, joy isn't wrapped in paper. It's filled by laughter, surrounded by firelight, and a chorus worth singing to. Let heaven and nature sing.
Are you throwing away money on your car insurance?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Try Insurify. We help you compare quotes and save half on your car insurance.
I like it when things are convenient and save me lots of money.
Go to Insurify.com and save up to $1,000 a year on your car insurance.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. You thought it got loud during Sandstorm. Just a moment ago, they put Robbie Hummel up on the big screen. Robbie, who at the time was tangled in his microphone cable, tried to wave to the crowd, got pulled down by the microphone cable, knocking the headset off his head.
That's been a tough night for me.
It really has.
Between Cats and now this another report from you here. It's been hard.
And now, unlike Cats, is my report erroneous?
No, yours is actually accurate. Andy's, I don't know. We got to fact check him over there.
What a start to the second half for the Boilermakers. 4 for 5 from the floor with 4 different players making a field goal to start this second half. And their largest lead of the night at 13.
But how about CJ Cox there off the ball, takes away the Cade Tyson cut, and then Braden Smith another steal.
Here's Lawyer on the run. Count the bucket and the foul. First made field goal of the night for Fletcher Lawyer.
Maybe that jump starts him. He has struggled for a couple games, certainly not at his best against Iowa State. But the active hands, Braden Smith has played so hard on the defensive end of the floor. And good for Fletcher Lawyer to see something go down.
And an offensive rebound. Kaufman renders Lawyer's 3. It's good. A 15-0 run. And Purdue's taking control. Off for Crocker Johnson. Rebound, Kaufman rips it away from Osama.
There's a different feel for Purdue on the defensive end of the floor here in this second half. Just a much greater sense of urgency.
And Lawyer through traffic, foul by Osama. That's his second. Now this team is so good at home in conference play. Since 2016, 75-12. In conference. We're not talking, usually those are numbers associated with non-conference games.
But you combine the teams they've had plus the environment, and that's where you get that percentage. What a math problem
That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was told there'd be no math.
That's right.
But Clough inside with another easy 2, and it is all of a sudden a 20-point game and a 17-0 start to the second half.
You think the message at half for Purdue was to hammer it inside? Because they certainly have done just that. mixed in some three-point shooting off some great looks, and their offense all of a sudden rolling.
Minnesota still looking for their first points out of the locker room. Reynolds bumped on the baseline by Clough. That'll be a foul on Purdue's big man, but a timeout on the floor. And as we go to break, Minnesota still looking for their first points in the second half.
Drumming, all your friends humming, yeah, it's a good time coming. Everything you wanted, it's right here, y'all. Everything you needed, it's right here, y'all. We got the tunes bumping, got the kids jumping, yeah, it's a good time coming.
Marathon is rewarding fans with savings of up to $1 per gallon. All by earning rewards on every gallon and on select in-store items. Making every pit stop and snack break worthy of a celebration.
Score.
The more you fuel up, the more you score with Marathon Rewards. Marathon, the official fuel of the Big Ten.
Saturday night, ranked Michigan State faces Penn State. Then Northwestern, Oregon, and Washington are all on the floor for non-conference action. Coverage begins with the tip-off show at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Penn State trying to bounce back from a tough night last night. Matt Painter trying to track down Tom Izzo. All right, a long way to go. Chris Collins chasing win number 200, but Paint a long ways from Coach Izzo, not as far away from Gene Keady. No. 33 wins to his head coach for Purdue's all-time winningest coach.
Well, just you look at that graphic, how many good coaches are there? Everybody's a good coach in the Big Ten. Right? It's really awesome when you look across the league at the talent that we have at molding these young basketball minds.
And how cool is it that we get to go watch their practices and talk to these guys and learn about basketball?
Yeah.
How about Braden Smith? He has been all over the floor. That's a shot clock violation.
Oh! I didn't know
he lost a highlight there.
He had the freedom of the whistle. That's what he had right there. What a block. Defensively, he has been tremendous tonight.
But then look at this. Oh! But it didn't happen. So he did not miss the dunk. His Lawyer, a little confidence, a little pep in his step now after a couple went in, and a good feed down low to Daniel Jacobson.
Well, a great decision, right? Because he's such a weapon shooting the ball. You've got two Gopher defenders jumping out at him. And after you've now made a couple, the team's going to start guarding you different. You're going through a slump. They obviously respect his ability to shoot. But after he's made a couple now, it's a different animal. And that's making the right read.
Smith again. Jacobson doing some work in the block. He gets the feed. Double shows. Back out to Cox for three. Kaufman-Renn, another offensive rebound. The putback won't go, but Jacobson there to clean it up.
And this is what you feared if you were a Gopher fan or even on the Gopher coaching staff, was that Purdue could just overwhelm you with their size, their physicality, and their offensive rebounding.
Still looking for points to get on the board in the second half. They'll try from the corner, and that three will not go. And Braden Smith boxing out Bobby Durkin to get the rebound. Here's Lawyer off the shot fake, driving it inside and out of bounds. Yeah, no whistle, and Matt Painter can't believe it.
In transition, Purdue playing off a closeout here. Crocker Johnson does leave his feet there. He's close to that restricted area.
Purdue content right now with a 19-0 run to start the second half. It's still a lid on the basket for Minnesota, and we've got a foul going the other way. Kaufman-Renn still down. Jalen Crocker Johnson with the personal.
We got this right in the dome. Definitely got it across the nose.
Fourth foul. Rather, 4 fouls on Asama now. 3 on Crocker Johnson. There's Smith. Lob to Jacobson, and the alley-oop flushed home. 21-0. A 3-touchdown burst out of the locker room for Purdue in the second half.
Just like that, they're up to 30 points in the paint. It was a clear directive, whether it's in the post up, off the drive, out of pick and roll, they were going to throw it inside.
And finally, Minnesota cracks the seal on scoring. 19-0 for Purdue before Tyson is able to get on the board. What a job they've done on the second leading scorer in the Big Ten tonight with just 7 points. Trey Kaufman-Renn. The paint points soaring right now for Purdue. You called for it to start this second half.
And Minnesota just doesn't have an answer. Whether they go man or they go zone, the size and the physicality of Purdue has just overwhelmed them in the second half.
Tyson off the Reynolds miss. His shot blocked away. Kaufman-Renn peels it away. Jacobson. Tough catch, and it's knocked out of bounds. Go back to the play a moment ago to Jacobson.
This time it's out of the pick and roll. You're bringing your big out. He sets the screen, and now you're rolling. There's just nobody home. You got Trey Kaufman-Renn ducking in on the strong side, occupying that help.
Wow, Jacobson again.
That's the same exact play. You've got Kaufman-Renn, he's ducking in, he's occupying defenders, and with Jacobson's size advantage, it's just throw it up there and let him go get it.
Tyson inside and a travel. Kaufman-Renn, good post defense again. Back we go to Andy Katz.
Daniel Jacobson, after he missed essentially almost all of last season with that leg injury, he needed something this summer to build that confidence. Played on that USA Basketball U19 gold medal team that was coached by Tommy Lloyd of Arizona. Played with Koa Pete, AJ DeBonsa. You could see how confident he is. Now in his game, he's gotten bigger and stronger. He needed action like that over the summer, and it's really helped him.
And it's helped Purdue 27-2 in the second half for the Boilermakers.
Well, Minnesota's 2-3 zone has not had much resistance, and Trey Kaufman-Renn is just flashing in there and shooting floaters off of one pass.
Trey Kaufman-Renn, 5th double-double of the year, 9th of his career. Been a real workman-like double-double, and again, Andy talked about no paint peeling after the Iowa State loss for Purdue in the locker room. I can't imagine Matt Painter spent a lot of time peeling paint off the walls at halftime of this game, but it does appear that they said, get it inside.
Yeah, we have to be more focused in the attack, is I'm sure what their message was.
And clearly message received. Reynolds, 3 on the shot clock. Crocker Johnson.
He doesn't know it.
Has to hoist quickly, didn't get it to go, and there's Braden Smith again. (27-2) in the second half for Purdue.
Kevin, we've seen Braden Smith do a ton of incredible things offensively, but just in terms of his defensive effort and the energy that he's extended on that end tonight, it's just about as good as I can ever remember.
It's as complete a game as I think we've seen in a long time.
His offensive abilities and his performances are what they are. He's certainly been better on that end than we've seen tonight, but the defensive effort here has been outstanding.
And a whistle away from the ball, and a foul. Looks like Jakari Harris called for the personal, and a timeout. A 29-2 scoring run. This was a 3-point game at half.
Wait a minute.
You can shop for anything on the internet, but there's only one place to get what you want. Sneakers, apparel, collectibles, and more. All the gifts you want, all in one place. StockX. Now you know.
Drive Time makes it easy to buy a car. We've got thousands of cars under 15 grand.
I can change my down payment? I never had this kind of power. Boom! Lower! I'm making my own deal on all these cars!
This is a commercial. Go get your real deal at DriveTime.com.
Some people collect sneakers. I collect greatness. The polos, they don't just fit, they flatter. The hoodies, ooh, they're softer than warm butter on a Sunday morning biscuit. Ooh, these pants and joggers, they're so comfy, you might cancel your plans. Rollback isn't just what I wear, it's who I am. It's also what I wear. Go to rollback.com to check out the best hoodies, polos, and more.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Welcome to the neighborhood, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Because when you feel protected, you can dream fearlessly.
Go long.
Bundle and save up to 40%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Mott & Bow is the #1 premium denim company in comfort and style. Their jeans have dynamic stretch technology to provide absolute flexibility. They are probably the most comfortable jeans you'll ever wear. Head on over to mottandbow.com for the perfect balance of fit, style, and comfort.
So 20 years until retirement. At this rate, it's probably going to be more like 40. See how much you're spending. Download an app called Rocket Money. I've got 3 DoorDash accounts. You know you can cancel those right in the app? Rocket Money has a clear dashboard that shows you all your income and expenses, helping you stay in control of your goals.
Braden Smith with such a complete performance here tonight, but his effort on the defensive end had stood out from the jump. 5 steals, 2 blocks, but it's just been how hard he's played. When you turn your back on him, he is looking to take it from you. But the high hands, the high level of activity, the high level of aggressiveness, certainly Braden Smith. He's had a lot of great performances here, but defensively, it stood out tonight.
And look at that, Braden Smith. He has been on the hunt a lot. He's been within 3 statistical numbers of a triple-double 10 times in his career. He's 4 rebounds away from a triple-double, and I will just point out, he's 4 rebounds and 5 steals away from a quadruple-double.
You better start gambling if he's going to get to that.
And if you're wondering, it has happened before. Lester Hudson, in the 2007-2008 season, recorded the only quadruple double in NCAA Division I men's basketball history.
Look at you diving deep.
You got to find that answer, because if that happens tonight, you got to be ready. He did it against Central Baptist College. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals. It's a good night.
I would say.
Braden Smith hunting down that quadruple-double. Can't get a steal here, but we'll go with that story.
You get a turnover, though. Man, but
that doesn't count in your quadruple-double.
That's like, you know, him and Jack Benter are having a conversation here, and that's probably a bit of a force, but I felt this when I played with Ricky Rubio. You better be ready.
Yeah.
Because this dude can embarrass you and hit you in the face with some passes, right? Like, he just, you better be aware if you're cutting, if you're you know, even if you're hanging out on the 3-point line, he is going to see you. His vision is incredible.
For a time, Ricky Rubio might have been the best passer.
No question.
Tyson, 5 to shoot. Crocker Johnson to work against Benter. Clears some space and gets the 2. Crowd, as you might imagine, not.
We thought maybe a little discard there with the off arm.
Makes it a 29-4 Purdue advantage in the second half and a 64-36 lead on the scoreboard.
I love running these handoffs for Lawyer to get to his right hand. That was pretty well defended, but then you handle all of it with Lawyer, and then you get a duck in, and the advantage with Grove is it's just going to be such an uphill battle because he's given up so much size.
3rd foul on Grove. Purdue will inbound, not a shooting foul, as Homer Meyer returns. 9:36 to play in this one. Purdue trying to move to 2-0 and 9-1 on the year. Smith turns, tough shot, and he made it look easy against Cade Tyson.
But what patience there. He gets to the body, he knocks you back, he shows the shot fake, and then it's the footwork. And understanding that when you jump stop, you can always get to your turnaround jumper. That's a dime.
That is a real nice feed and a good cut by Kai Shinholster.
When Minnesota moves that thing from side to side and they just flow in there, those back cuts can be so challenging to defend.
We saw it in the latter half of the first half. That's how they got back into this game. They skip into the corner. Harris's three is good. Jakari Harris on the assist from Braden Smith, and Purdue's hit their last 8 shots.
You just can't take it all away. You're so concerned about Braden Smith with the ball. You're so concerned about the roll man. You've got to give something up, and that's going to be those weak side threes. If Purdue's making those, that they are in business.
Grove, man, vision there. Asama back up top to Crocker Johnson. He had the hot hand from 3 in the first half. Rebound tipped into the hands of Asama. Crocker Johnson.
A closeout there by Jack Benner. He'll take away the jumper, take away the bounce. Good defense.
6 to shoot. Grove. Asama's going to have to hurry. Back out to Tyson for 3. And Crocker Johnson called for the foul. That's his 4th. The Big Show delivers highlights, post-game interviews, and complete analysis tonight at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
I know that Jalen Crocker Johnson is really playing out of position at 6'8", 240, but he's going to have to find a way to be physical without fouling, because 6 of his 10 games with 4 fouls or more, he's too important to this team. They need him on the floor. He's felt like he's been in foul trouble every game.
And you don't have the depth to withstand losing him every game to foul trouble. Grove, 69-38, the timeout on the floor.
We've talked so much about Braden Smith's defense. How about a little bit of offense? This is going to the bag. Get to your turnaround jumper. Braden Smith, Kevin Kugler says he's on quad double watch.
Old Trapper Beefs. Energy emergency. Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Morning, Pete. Coffee's on and your Uber's on its way.
You know, I've been thinking, maybe I should just go by Peter now?
Peter Davidson. Not bad.
Sounds like I'm going to try and sell you an extended warranty.
How about Petey?
I know a dog named Petey.
Little P or Big D?
Oh, what about Double P?
You want to go by PP?
You know what? I think I'm just going to stick with Pete.
Pete. I like it.
I like you too.
Big night continues next on the Big Ten Network as the battle of the Big Reds, Wisconsin and Nebraska in Lincoln. Huskers ranked for the first time in several years this week in the poll after an unbeaten start to the season, and Wisconsin coming to town to try to break the Huskers win streak that dates all the way back to the Crown in Las Vegas. Braden Smith at line. We're on triple double watch. We're on quadruple double watch. You know, look how loose he is, knowing that history could happen tonight.
You've been on the stats dating back to the Crown, but you were there. So
I was there.
That's why you were able to pull that one so easily.
Yes, you and I were both there to see the start of Nebraska's run, which began because they didn't make the NCAA tournament after losing to Iowa in the regular season finale last year.
But they changed the Big Ten tournament. Essentially, you know, think about some of the changes that get made, because you're like, well, you can't take your team's opportunities away. It was a learning experience for all. We'll say that.
Yes.
You had more teams. You just have to go through some growing pains.
There will never be an announcer who utters again they did not make the Big Ten tournament.
That's right.
No, I'll make it. It was Braden Smith. Extra pass. Benter for three.
Braden Smith was surveying the whole way, all the way to under the rim.
Tyson on the drive. Oh, what a challenge! Omer Meyer is called for the foul. That was really close.
I thought he might have got him with the body. It looked like it was pretty clean with the ball, but I thought he maybe got him body-wise.
Yep.
I think he's not going vertical.
It looked like the right call from referee Brian Dorsey. Good crew tonight. Randy Richardson, Paul Sells, the three officials assigned to this one. One more look.
He can't lose his vertical play. He's definitely not going vertical there. He's not jumping straight up and down, landing in the same spot.
That's a great look.
That was.
Our camera above the backboard. Drones with
operators killing it.
Oh yeah. There's Harris. 15 to shoot, under 7 to play in this one. Braden Smith zips the pass. Myers three is good.
That's a big shot for Purdue, and certainly for Omer Meyer in general. Just with some of the struggles shooting the basketball over the last two. He hadn't made a three in that stretch, and certainly he's a guy that has shot better with the rhythm of the dribble. He's been much better off the bounce, especially from two.
Good feet inside, and Osama fouled by Braden Smith. He'll have a chance to go to the line for one more. For more on Meyer, we check in with Andy Katz.
One of the best rule changes that has happened in the last couple of years is allowing international players who have played professionally, in this case, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Think about Illinois, all those players that have played professionally still being allowed to play in college basketball. They got with the times, and now we're seeing all the effects in a positive way. So many high-quality international players in the game this season.
There's no question that the talent in college basketball is as good as you will ever see, and it's certainly it's been concentrated to the high major levels, right? Like, you just see how good and deep some of these high major teams are. But like Maccabi Tel Aviv is an elite team. Yes. And when you play, and he's gotten, not that Omer Meyer has played all of the games at the senior level there, but he's gotten cracks in EuroLeague games. He's played in Israeli top league games. To get that type of opportunity and see the way pros work and just see that level of competition, there's no question that we have surged the level of talent here to college hoops.
It's such an interesting dynamic that we have right now in this game, because the high major teams are now the older teams.
Yeah.
They go and pluck somebody from a lower level, or they retain somebody that they want to keep, like Purdue has done with Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer and Trey Kaufman-Renn, to get old that way. If you're young in this era of college basketball, it makes it even tougher.
No, it does.
Because you're going against a lot of old teams.
We are killing some of these high school seniors, which is a shame, because I do think that the goal should still be to graduate players so that when they are done playing, they can make a living. That has got to be still important. I think we've lost that a little bit, especially with the portal of the 4 schools in 4 years.
Meyer, shot fake, short. Clough offensive rebound and the foul.
Andy, I think the other side of that, though, is definitely when you're thinking about all of the players and you're thinking about NBA guys, and you're like, all right, this guy only played 2 years of college basketball, goes to the NBA, fizzles out. We're seeing G Leaguers come in here. We're seeing international pros come in. What stops a legitimate NBA guy from saying, you know what, I'm going back and I'm going to play at the school I wanted to play at 6 years ago?
So Robbie, you're saying a player that actually was drafted. That's the difference. These international players,
let's say
and the G Leaguers.
Lance Stevenson.
But that's where they haven't crossed that line yet. A player that has been drafted still can't come back and play college basketball, even if he technically had eligibility. That's the line.
So, okay, let's say LeBron James wants to come back. I guess he was drafted.
I'm sorry.
He was drafted.
He was drafted.
Bad example.
Yes.
Let's say an undrafted guy that went to the NBA and fizzles. Why can't he come back?
And you're saying he has eligibility left. That might, maybe that challenge happens. I mean, we have older players in the game. Chad Baker-Mazar of USC is going to be 26 in January.
Yeah, he's leading the league in scoring.
And an age. Foul called.
I think Robbie played against him.
That'll be. He did. They roomed together for a while, I believe.
I'm trying to think who's a good undrafted example here that's played in the NBA and has fizzled out. You need if Austin Reeves still had eligibility, and when he was done playing, I was like, you know what? I miss college. I want to go back. But he played obviously 4 years.
Yes, that would be too much. And this is not a Robbie Hummel situation.
I'm exhausted.
Okay.
Physically and eligibility-wise.
Working with Kugler and Katz on exhaustion. In fact, you may be so tired you may not want to do it again the rest of the regular season.
I might just quit here.
78-47 Purdue, 4:54 to go in the second half. And this has been such a tale of two halves. You saw Minnesota, and this is what Niko Medved's going to take to his team, is look what we did at the end of the first half. Let's build on that.
No doubt.
Look, the second half is the second half. Purdue used the advantage they had inside that we thought they would utilize more in the first half. They found it in the second half. It's 43-15 in the second half in favor.
It has to be for Niko Medved. We continue to improve.
Yep.
And we have Texas Southern next. We did some very good things in the first half. And yeah, the second half, they got us with the advantage. They got us with the size, the offensive rebounding, the inside play. But Minnesota looks a world different from what we saw in the San Francisco. Some of the Stanford was a close game. Santa Clara could have been a 30-point beatdown.
Yep.
And I give them a lot of credit for keeping up the fight. And I think it even springboarded them into that Indiana game.
That foul on Clough a moment ago. That's his fourth. Free throw for Jalen Crocker-Johnson. He's got 17 tonight. It'll stay there as Benter gets the rebound. Kari Harris. Meyer looks like he may be going the rest of the way. Four to shoot. Harris's three. Clough, another offensive rebound, is put back short, and the rebound ends up with Langston Reynolds. The three won't go, and Benter the rebound. With the big lead and Omer Meyer on the floor, I think that we might be able to close the book on.
We're hyping the quad
double and quad double.
It's probably
this
not
game. Somewhere Lester Hudson is celebrating the fact that he will remain the only man with a quad double in NCAA basketball history. Three Purdue players with double doubles tonight: Clough, Wren, and Smith. But we will not see the triple double. We will not see the quad double.
And I think my only question for Purdue would be, why after the Iowa State game did it take a half to kind of impose your will, right? Like, you have these advantages with your roster and your ability and skill that you weren't taken advantage of until the second half. Why did it take that to get to this point? You know, if you want to be considered a tier one of the contenders to win a national championship, I think that's a valid question because the standard has to be that high. And Minnesota has played, they're on scholarship too, right? Sure. Like, it's not a disrespectful thing to them, but it is a question of, you're coming off a disappointing loss. Why not impose your will from the start?
What was the emphasis and what did it take at halftime to get that to happen? Because it was clearly a concerted effort in the second half for Purdue. 15 to shoot for Benter. Murphy will try. Liam Murphy with the three. That's a big shot.
He's going to affect games where he gets put in there solely to do that. When you have Braden Smith and Braden Smith's abilities in pick and roll, you need guys to spread the floor and give room for the roll guys to the rim. And Liam Murphy, He might have some shortcomings rebounding and defensively. He is an elite three-point shooter.
Led the ASUN last year from North Florida in three-point shooting. I say it's a big shot because it's a confidence shot. Tyson on the drive. He's fouled by Clough, and that's going to take us to the media timeout. 2:04 to go. The dream has passed for tonight. No triple-double, no quad-double, but Purdue in control at home.
Let's go, bud. Hurry up. Come on. I'm a baseball dad. Just because I didn't go pro doesn't mean my kid won't. Give me that.
No pressure, kid. Just everyone watching.
Coach says it doesn't matter if you win or lose the game, but that's what losers say. You got to swivel those hips, right? And you got to swing. 4! And if you don't have the right insurance, you can be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
This is the story of the one who knows half-baked preparation can bring the workday to a standstill. That's why she relies on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery. Call, click, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a good thing Discover makes it easy to be a Big Ten fan.
Totally. I get cash back on my rally cap.
Cash back on my favorite glove.
Cash back on my Lucky Shamrock.
I even earn cash back on my Lucky bobblehead.
You win. Next round's on me.
Earn cash back on every purchase with Discover.
Oh no, your girlfriend's dad doesn't like his gift. Maybe there's time to get a deal on something else. Wait. Hey, you might just make it to New Year's after all.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better protection from online threats. Get NordVPN now.
Dave Revson, Rayfeld Davis with you. Quite a second half for the Boilers.
Oh, big time performance. How about that defense from the Boilermakers? That's what I'm used to. And then how about Braden Smith? Just a big time performance. That's how your leader has to respond.
We are getting set for Game 2, Nebraska and Wisconsin. Sam Hoiberg and company ranked for the first time in 7 years. Perhaps this is their secret. Who knew? The hand-eye coordination, supreme. Fellas?
It's like an extended version of Simon. You remember the game Simon?
Yeah.
3 double-doubles tonight. Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman, and Oscar Clough all pacing Purdue in the second half. They led by just 3 in the locker room at halftime, and now 83-51. The Boilermakers with the advantage. 2:04 to go in the second half. And Cade Tyson, who's now got 12, back to the line for one more. Purdue had a stretch, Robbie, where they went 14 of 16 from the floor. 29-2 run to open the second half.
They just imposed their will. But they certainly targeted the right spot, right? Like they knew what they were doing, and Matt Painter made the adjustment. Purdue wasn't getting there on their own, so they force-fed it, and it worked. What do you think you grade out on that reaction test that Sam Hoiberg was doing?
I think it'd be like strong.
90th percentile?
You know, those of us who also spent some of our time playing video games have that quick hand reaction.
Great point.
Yeah, I mean, so we trained for that our whole lives. Arcades made us ready for that. Reynolds has it stripped away and flipped back into play to Reynolds. He'll go to the line. It must be working because Sam Hoiberg's had a nice start to the season.
He's an awesome winning player. And I know that there was the great story where Fred Hoiberg was a little hesitant maybe early on to play him, and his wife was on him. And you got to be careful when your son is playing for you, because you don't want it to be one of those situations where the players are like, man, he's just playing him because it's his son. But Sam Hoiberg is a really good player and a good defender and can make an open three, gets to the rim. He's just a good winning player in your team. Coach Hoiberg's just got to listen to his wife on personnel decisions more.
Clearly.
She was on it.
That's coming up next. Nebraska and Wisconsin on the Big Ten Network. Should be a real entertaining game.
Jack Lusk has got to get a bucket.
Yep.
He was like 6 years old when I played here. It's terrifying that he is now in college.
And the tip in off the fine miss. Jacobson can't connect. 1:15 to go. Nehemiah Turner this one.
I thought we might see him tonight just because of the size mismatches out there.
Tyson on the run, and there's a foul. And Tyson will go to the line. 13 points tonight for the second leading scorer in the Big Ten Conference. He has been well held in check by Purdue, and you know that was the guy at the top of the scouting report coming into this one. One more for Tyson.
One. It's not just his numbers either, Kevin. It's Cade Tyson's efficiency. He's the 4th most efficient player in the league. He gets to the line. He shoots it from 3. He's a good player. Purdue did a heck of a job on him tonight.
There's Fine. Lusk looking inside to Jacobson. And Jacobson fouled with 38.6 seconds to play. He'll go to the line. Nehemiah Turner with his first personal foul. Purdue get much easier. They've got Marquette coming in this weekend, and then they visit a matchup with Auburn. That game is in Indianapolis next Saturday, the neutral site game that has become so popular in college basketball these last few years, and that'll be a fun matchup as well.
Auburn kind of trying to find themselves post Bruce Pearl.
They are.
Stephen taken over. Great win in Vegas over St. John's. Kind of found a way in that one. Tough learning lesson last weekend in Tucson for that group. But talented guard. I mean, Todd Pettiford's a problem.
Yep. Drop down to Turner, blocked by Jacobson, and that's a tie-up. It'll belong to Purdue, and the Boilermakers can dribble this one out. 5 Purdue players in double figures scoring tonight, and a second half to remember for Purdue. They double up Minnesota in the second half, 50-25, and walk away with the 85-57 win.
An impressive second half.
Yes.
And certainly a response that Matt Painter, I'm sure he wanted and needed to see that. But Braden Smith played so hard, and you play to your advantage in the second half, and you get a nearly 30-point win.
And you end up plus 23 on the glass in this ball game. A battle on the boards. It was relatively even in the first half, but again, Purdue flexed its formidable muscle inside in a lot of ways in the second half.
Well, you got Oscar Clef, you've got Trey Kaufman-Renn. You finally end up going to those guys. First 2 baskets of the second half are inside, then you play it out, and it just snowballed from there. Purdue has the chance to have a special season, but certainly there is plenty of work to do and a lot of improvements to be made.
So the Boilermakers move to 9-1. They start 2-0 in Big Ten Conference play for the first time since